I should have changed my shirt. So, yeah, happy Bloomsday, everybody. It's June 16th. I'm reading Ulysses. It's the 16th day of reading Ulysses in 80. And I'm on page 144. This is Lestrygonians. The first, this is, what is this, chapter 8? Okay, so yeah, 7 and 8. The chapters get a little longer. So instead of reading them in one go or two days, they read them in 3 and 4 days. So I don't know. Lestrygonians has 4 parts maybe, and then I read I I read and I listen to the segment. It's usually 8 or 10 pages. So yeah, that's why we're on page. It's 16 days, and we're on page 144. Okay, because some of the segments have been pretty short, not quite 10 pages, more like 8 pages. What's 8 times 16? 80, 142. So what's that? 122. So a little bit more, maybe 9 pages average. Go so, and then after I read that and I listen to it, I go right back to this. That's part 3. I kind of I'm a little behind in the annotated. Where am I at here? It's just taking off that rubber bands, like kind of like. So I'm still in Lotus Eaters. What chapter is that? Like 5. Okay, so I'm gonna have to read a little bit of that today because I'm kind of ahead of schedule because I've already read. I read today's segment last night, and I've caught up. Like the videos I did last year, I've caught up too. So let's talk about some of what I discovered and what stands out for me. So in let's see, what do we got here? What's okay? So part 3. Okay, let me see. Let me go to my video. Okay, so to keep it in order, because okay, so the first 6 chapters kind of went swimmingly. I think people got a little lost in chapter 3 and chapter 6. Okay, so let's go to this. Yeah, so I think people were a little frustrated by Proteus chapter 3, Stephen Dedalus, and then I think Hades is kind of a long chapter, and you're in hell a long time. I mean, it's hell, and they're all talking about crazy things, Lotus Eaters. And then Aeolus is the one where they're at the newspaper, what do you call it? The newspaper, um, well, they used to public, like it's a bunch of journalists at the newspaper office, I guess. And Bloom's there for a while. Stephen's there. They sort of cross paths, but they don't really interact too much. Bloom noticed that he's wearing some new shoes, that Stephen, that is. But Aeolus, reading what stands out for me is like I think some of the characters start appearing from Dublin. So Dubliners. I mean, the characters from Dubliner start showing up. So let me go to that bit of brilliance here. Let's see if I can find it here, and just go over it. So we have. So let's see. Let's go back to episode features. Okay, so let me just go over this. Okay, so episode 7 of Ulysses is titled the Aeolus. It's one of the most stylistic. It's where things start to get wild because we all of a sudden we're I mean but it's told from a third point of view. So it's set in the offices of the Freeman Journal, a Dublin newspaper, and it features mostly Leopold Bloom navigating the world of journalism. So it has like that newspaper headline structure. There'll be like a headline, and he supposedly got this from I think a thing called paste and cut or something, or scissors and paste or something. So like I said in my other video, when I first started doing newspapers, we used to we use computers, but we would print it out. I mean, the only thing difference was the earlier the 70s or something they would use a typesetting machine and get the blocks of paragraphs and print it on a big board so you can take a picture of it, or like a negative, so you can, and then take the negative and run it through a newspaper machine to print it out, to make the negative, and then you make the print off the newspaper machine. So when I started doing newspapers in the, like, say, the mid 80s, I mean, we were using, by that time we were using PageMaker. We would type our stuff, instead of typing stuff on a typewriter or a typesetting machine, or even like freehand, we would type it on a little, like the earliest Macs, give that disk to the designer. He would take the text, put it on PageMaker, print out those pages. It would come out like in either 2 or 3 things, and so you would have to put them on an actual board. So like people who, I mean, everybody who reads stuff off their phone, like, has no idea of the physical, or the Guten. I guess it's the difference between the Gutenberg mind and the digital mind. So we have the newspaper structure. An example: in the heart of the Iberian metropolis. And this chapter mimics styles of contemporary journalism. And then there's like the theme of wind and oratories in there. Setting: newspaper office is central Dublin. The main characters are Leopold Bloom, Professor McHugh, Miles Crawford, the editor, and Stephen Dallas, who shows up late. And there's a lot of classical allusions in this. Joyce, I mean, Dos Passos kind of did something similar, like, later. I don't know when Dos Passos did the USA trilogy, but I'm guessing it was like in the later 20s, early 30s. So there's communication themes: communication versus communication, nationalism, commerce, and media, and the shifting narrative. So there's mostly like a third person narration. There's a bit of stream of consciousness. Mostly it's Bloom, and then there's editorial style interjection. But it seems, I mean, because we've had a couple chapters with just in the mind of Bloom, and it's kind of random, especially I think the next chapter, maybe, I don't know, Lestrygonians, where he's kind of describing everything. He's going, so, like I said, here's where Dubliners kind of, because Lenihan shows up, who's in 2 Gallants, and he shows up in this chapter. Bloom and Stephen are sort of, I think Simon Dedalus is in Dubliners too. Yeah, so Lenihan. Okay, so then Ned Lambert, a real-life historical person who appears in Ulysses, may be connected to a character that appears in Dubliners, but though he's not named there. Stephen Dallas doesn't appear in Dubliners, but his world, teachers, drinkers, Dublin literary set, overlapped in tone. Ulysses is not a direct sequel to Dubliners, but recycles names, social types, and institutions. So, okay, so here's all the characters that show up in Ulysses. Lenihan, 2 Gallants. Corley from 2 Gallants. He shows up in Wandering Rocks. Lenihan's also in Wandering Rocks and Sirens. Bob Dornan from the Boarding House shows up in Sirens. Simon Dedalus, A Little Cloud, and possibly The Dead. Mrs. McCoy, also known as Katie Dignam, she's in The Dead. Patty Dignam, he's the one that dies. Miss Kate and Miss Julia Morecambe and Mary Jane, The Dead. Possibly alluded to in episode 15, Circe. Joyce doesn't name. Bantam lions. Father calm me. Is that how you say it? Appears in Wuthering Rocks. And I'm just saying that going back to Aeolus, there's kind of a claustrophobia in Dubliners. Everybody seems sort of trapped, and then you get the the freedom, the yearning to be free from Stephen Dedalus in Portrait of an Artist, which is a little bit different. He kind of seeks to go away, and he goes to Paris. And then, okay, so what else? So Lestrygonians. This chapter, I mean, I think you can get kind of lost in this chapter too. I mean, Bloom is all over the place. He's like, he's like meeting people. He's eating food. He eats meat in the morning, but he has a cheese sandwich. He's like, all of a sudden he becomes a vegetarian. And then Lestrygonians are like kind of like these people who just kind of, so he's like watching people eat, and it's like it's real crazy, and he kind of meets people. So yeah, I mean, yeah, this is one of those chapters that just kind of you kind of forget about, but it's just he's still kind of walking around. He decides to get a meal, and it's a bit of a prelude to my favorite chapter, Scylla and Charybdis, which is number 9, where Stephen Dedalus gives a theory about Shakespeare. So, but yeah, I mean, the reading, the reading group. There's some people that are kind of a little frustrated. I'm finding that the 8 or 9 pages a day is a fine tempo. I'm finding it very easy to satisfy. It's like it's June. It's 2 weeks into or more into June, and I'm feeling like I'm living Ulysses. I'm kind of like everything. I'm kind of all into it. So I read that book, and then I kind of follow it up. I listen to it. I look at all the comments that are people in the group, like what they're talking about. We've had a few Zoom meetings. There's going to be a video coming out, maybe today, probably this week, and I'll do the link to that. And it's an audio. It's going to be a part of the podcast. That the guy Mark is going to putting together. And then later I'll try to catch up on that. But I've caught up with my videos from last year, just kind of like reviewing the stuff I was like talking about last year, and just kind of my reaction. And I'm ready to go again. I'm ready to start this book again. Let's keep on. So today's Bloom's Day, so it's kind of an exciting day. So in Dublin, it's probably getting kind of late, like 10 or 11 o'clock. Besides Ulysses news, I've been to a couple shows. I don't know. It's been a couple days since I've done this, so I'm trying to. Okay, so today's Monday the 16th. So yeah, this weekend. I kind of took it easy on the gigs, but because I was still. I mean, going to Cali Vibes. I mean, because like when you get there, you have to walk like 2 miles around, and maybe a third mile to get to the main stage and stuff. So it's kind of a long walk, and I snuck out the back and barely made it. And I don't know. If I would have parked over towards the eastern side of downtown, maybe that would have been better, because I wouldn't have had to walk back, because my car was parked over by 3rd and Pine, Third and Pine are the same. Yeah, no, 3rd and Pine, that's right. And so I had to walk all the way back. So that walk, and there's like kind of, and I couldn't do it. And then so I did go. So what day was that? Saturday. So Saturday I went to the Huntington Beach Pier, the No Kings, took some pictures down there. So that was that was pretty much the biggest demonstration I've seen. A lot of people like kind of like you know have a go at Huntington Beach and say and that's just because I mean Tito. There was all this kind of excitement around Tito Ortiz was the mayor for a couple weeks, and there was a bunch of anti-vaxxers, and people didn't want to wear masks or do any of the COVID protocols at all, and so a lot of people thought like Huntington Beach was full of like Trumpers, but it's only like a small percentage. I mean, pretty small. I mean, and it's always been so people kind of like think. I mean, there's probably those people in Bel Air or Santa Monica that are anti-vax, and I know a lot of my friends are, and they a lot of my friends up in LA, like they're who maybe don't talk about it too much. They never got the vaccine. They didn't wear masks and stuff. So that was like a lot of people in Huntington Beach, except for it was a lot. They got together and it was made it more political. And when they had these measures A and B, kind of like attacking the library to have safeguards, like that was voted down 60-40, and it was probably it probably could have been higher and stuff. 40 was kind of high because I think the Trump perfection I think is really like 20, because they've done other things where they couldn't even get enough signatures to do their like things. So this MAGA board in Huntington Beach, they haven't been able to do anything. I mean, they're probably like trying to make secret deals to like line their own pockets or something, So enough about that. So I went. I also went up to Johnny Pastrami's, and I posted a lot of videos. Like there are videos. I have shorts here, and I've been and then I kind of been going back to some of the books I've been reading this year and doing like more book talks. I kind of stopped doing that maybe around the beginning of the year because I don't know why. Maybe I was just doing other things, but I'm back to doing a couple every day or every other day. I have a bunch of books to highlight, and I just recently did Nikki de St. Phal, Annie Ernaux, another Beckett book, and there's plenty of others that I can focus on. I had a big list here, and I don't mind doing a little 5-minute video on anything. So yeah, I went to I posted a couple of videos of going to Johnny Pastrami. Didn't like Johnny Pastrami's as much as Philly's French Dip or Tommy Pastrami in Costa Mesa, but it was all right. And Tito Tacos is right there, so I'll probably go there next time. And it's right there in Sepulveda and Washington, right there when you get off the freeway. And got to go to Getty Center, and I haven't been there for 5 or so years. And Mabby Frate was playing there, and that was great. And I got free parking and everything, and I didn't have to take the train into because they make you pay like $10 and park a mile away, and then so I didn't have to do that. But that's okay too. Maybe I'll do that next time. But so maybe Frate's the only show I went to this weekend. I did. I've been kind of avoiding because I went. I don't know if I talked about it in the previous video, but I was hanging out on Nelson, and we went to Geffen Mocha, and there was I did talk in it in one video. I was there with Nelson, and we were there. That's when the demonstration started because the first ICE agents took the people on Thursday. Then they had the demonstration on Friday. So as I was like leaving the Mocha out there, I was on Alameda, and there was the very beginning of the demonstration, I took a right on Alameda and went over to Philippe's French Dip like a week ago, Friday, so almost 10 days ago. And I tried to. I've been trying to avoid downtown since then. I don't know. Let's see. Like, so my plans. Let's see. What are my plans? Okay. So Friday, I'm going to go to the Greek to see OMD and Hollywood, and the 22nd. That's at the Orpheum. That's downtown. That may be canceled. We'll see. The way things are going, that show might be canceled. I don't know. That's not gonna the Saturday on the Orpheum. And then there's another one at the Regent, and who knows? I mean, they're probably out there right now. On Monday, it's almost 10 days since these demonstrations started, and then the No Kings on Saturday, and they're probably gonna have some. I heard some place they're gonna have a demonstration every Sunday or so. So okay, well, let's leave it there. This is like my third video. The Joyce group, definitely it's not too late to join. I mean, I'm only 130 pages into it. You can join. Just look up the videos. Reading Ulysses in 80 days. And Mark Gross is one of the leaders, and just check it out. There's a Blue Sky group. They're on Twitter. That's me. Okay, so that's it. Let's cut it there. Thanks for watching, and more book talk. And hopefully I'll get back to interviews. Maybe I was doing interviews at the beginning of the year a lot and stuff. It takes a little while, and what else? I'm starting summer school. I'm a college student again also, so I'm starting that like next week. Okay, take care, everyone.